These are still not small numbers, by the way. You may remember that in our first class we were talking about how statistics was geared mostly towards small numbers, and today we are dealing with a plethora of numbers. So when we went to school, we were advised that if you have less than 30 data points, you probably want to do a different test called the t-test. And if you have more than 30 data points, you're okay doing the normal test, as it's called. Now, the reason for that is there were a number of data sets where you got less than 30 data points, and your results would be slightly better if you did a more accurate test. None of these even go near 30. Which is the other thing you want to keep in mind. A lot of statistics textbooks, when you pick them up, will tell you stuff about, if this is the case, you need to do this kind of analysis. If that is the case, you need to do this kind of analysis. And in almost all the data sets that I've seen, the difference is so marginal that it does not make a difference. For example, there is, and let me not cover this now. In the second half, I'll be talking about the various kinds of t-tests and how, what the real difference is. But I just want to leave you with a message that it makes no difference whatsoever what kind of test you perform. The volume of data that you're probably dealing with is invariably so large that every test will come to the same conclusion, or they will all be equally inconclusive, in which case you don't have a positive result. Similarly, boys versus girls. This is showing a very clear result. Boys are performing a lot worse than girls. But if you go subject-wise, in mathematics, the difference probably isn't as stark. In mathematics, social sciences and sciences, it probably isn't as stark as it is in the languages, which is probably an intuitive result as well. Let's go on to a different domain, one-day cricket. What I'll do is describe this data, and then we'll take a short break. It's almost 11:30, and then we'll come back to the analysis of this data. What we have is data up to the end of last year. That's, I think, close to November or December 2011, where we have the country. Each row is one innings in one-day international cricket, and the data set is for the entire history of one-day international cricket up to that point. We have the country that the player belongs to, the number of runs that he's scored. The asterisk indicates not out. I cleaned that out in the data set finally. The strike rate at which they've been scoring, that's the number of runs per 100 balls that they have scored. The date on which the match was played, the ground on which it was played, and the country against which it was played. We'll take a short break for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'm hoping that there's tea outside, so that will mean at least maybe 10 minutes.
Take a break for 10 minutes, come back and see what we can find.